Mercedes-Benz new E-Class hits the road this year. It's a model with a pedigree. Its origins lie with the V170 from the 1930s. It's the most traditional and successful executive model produced by the German car maker. No other model reflects the basic values of the brand like the E-Class: safety, comfort, and greenness. The new model is even greener than the ones that went before it. The designers kept the four-eyed look with the four headlamps, which have marked the E-Class for the past 15 years. But the look has been freshened. The headlamps are square. The chrome frame grille looks wider. All in all, it seems a more powerful car. More so at the rear. But the real innovations in this model are in technology and security. Marcus Foch says the company has introduced a large and comprehensive packet of new and innovative driver assistance systems into the new E-Class. The new E-Class has a driver drowsiness warning system that works on the basis of driver actions. Sensors on the steering wheel and other dynamic sensors recognize tiredness and give a warning if necessary. There is also a multi-purpose camera that recognizes traffic signs and indicates them to the driver. For example, speed limits. There is a lane departure warning system, he says, and there is an extension of the established Distronic, the intelligent cruise control, which in the new E-Class can be regulated down to 0 kilometers an hour. And a lot has changed under the hood of the new E-Class. The model has a modern engine with blue efficiency technology, producing more power with less engine displacement and using up to 23% less fuel. The interior of the new executive model could be described as typical Mercedes. A clear line of vision paired with high-class materials and comfort turned the longest of journeys into a pleasure cruise. And long journeys can mean a lot of luggage. No problem for the new E-Class. The trunk capacity is a generous 540 liters. And if that isn't enough, the rear seat can be folded with little effort. One practical gimmick is a fold-away basket in the luggage area that can be used for carrying small objects. The safety aspects highlighted by Mercedes continues in the car's driving features. Thanks to the chassis setup, the road-holding qualities allow a sporty but at the same time comfortable ride. The new E-Class starts at 41,590 euros in Germany. Ten years after it was introduced, Peugeot was reworking its runaround 206 model. The 206 Plus leans toward the 207 in design, but is significantly shorter at only 3.90 meters. The 206 Plus is aimed at price-sensitive customers and scores points with its low purchase and running and maintenance costs. Despite the general trend to more fuel-efficient cars, Chevrolet is bringing out a new version of its muscular Camaro. The retro-look sports car comes with 3 different engines. The strongest version has 8 cylinders, a displacement of 6.2 liters, and a whopping 432 horsepower. That makes it a thirsty beast, at least 15 liters over 100 kilometers. 10 years after it was introduced, Peugeot was reworking its runaround 206 model. The 206 Plus leans toward the 207 in design, but is significantly shorter at only 3 meters 90. The 206 Plus is aimed at price-sensitive customers and scores points with its low purchase and running and maintenance costs. Despite the general trend to more fuel-efficient cars, Chevrolet is bringing out a new version of its muscular Camaro. The retro-look sports car comes with 3 different engines. The strongest version has 8 cylinders, a displacement of 6.2 liters, and a whopping 432 horsepower. That makes it a thirsty beast, at least 15 liters over 100 kilometers. Adolf Hüttmann places his faith in the wind as a source of energy. He owns a small wind power plant near Magdeburg. To make his energy use even more sustainable, Hüttmann also goes for electric mobility, and at home he has a cogeneration unit to produce heat and electricity. 3 solutions that Hüttmann says form an ideal energy cycle. He says we drive electric cars because we can juice them up for free, and we operate wind power stations. Of course, I'm not in the vicinity of our windmills every day, so at some point I got the idea of recharging at home, and then building a filling station there. And then there's the engine, which is normally in the front end of a normal car. We took it out and placed it in the basement. There it uses natural gas to produce heat and electricity, allowing us to both heat the house and recharge the car. It sounds more complicated than it is. The cogeneration unit is about the size of a regular boiler. It's just a little louder. The 1-cylinder engine generates electricity. The waste heat is used to heat the house and the water supply. And the surplus energy can be fed into the electric grid and thereby make money. Hüttmann says with a normal boiler, one only produces heat. Heat is boring. It's more interesting to generate a higher quality energy that one can drive a car with. You can't drive a car with heat, but definitely with electricity. That's the advantage of electric cars. Combined with this kind of engine in the basement, you practically get the electricity from the basement from the heating system. And that's a big saving you can't get with normal automotive systems. His Citroën Berlingo thereby tanks up practically free of charge. A small engine with big uses. Peter Miesner says that every hour this engine runs equals about 100 kilometers driving distance for a car or truck. That means it runs 10 or 12 hours per day, equaling 1,200 kilometers that a car would have to drive steadily on the Autobahn. The total lifespan of this engine is more than 80,000 hours. That's 8 million kilometers, a huge distance. The engineers did good work here. The cogeneration unit also emits 40% less carbon dioxide, and his electric Citroën is just fine for everyday use. Adolf Hüttmann says the good thing about this car is that there's practically no more maintenance. Compared to a combustion engine, an electric motor runs absolutely maintenance-free. 27 nickel-cadmium batteries supply the Berlingo's power. When fully charged, he can drive about 80 kilometers at a top speed of 95 kilometers per hour. Hüttmann has chosen an exotic solution, but it's clear to him that the only viable automotive